Welcome back. Today we explore the value of these most valuable wheat pennies that are sold for huge money at auction. So, let's get started. First up, the 1945 Lincoln wheat cent, especially the large date variety, holds a fascinating story. By the mid-1940s, the United States had entered the post-World War II era, a time when the country was rebuilding and adjusting to new economic realities. The Lincoln wheat cent was first issued in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. By 1945, the design had been in circulation for more than 3 decades, making it a familiar and important part of American currency. However, the 1945 coin stands out, particularly when it comes to the large date variety, which was the result of a change in the size of the digits used to engrave the date on the die. The year 1945 marked the end of WI, and the United States was transitioning from wartime production to peacetime efforts. The Lincoln cent was still widely circulated, but the conditions surrounding its production were changing. The Treasury Department had issued a large number of coins, and mintage numbers for the year reached over 1 billion. While this made the 1945 penny a common coin in terms of sheer numbers, its significance lies in the differences in die design, particularly the large date variety. The mintage of the 1945 large date Lincoln penny was a significant number. However, despite being one of the common years in the series, this coin is highly coveted due to its design features and the possible existence of variants. The coin in question, particularly one in red color with a dirty or worn condition, can still fetch a price higher than expected conditions, with a market value for a low-condition version ranging from $63,000. A higher-grade specimen in good condition may go for upwards of $71,000 or more in the auction market. A heavily worn example, like the one described in this segment, dirty and in a red hue, may not fetch a huge amount in comparison to pristine or near-mint versions, but due to its rarity and the high collector interest in these types of coins, it could still hold significant value. Coins in uncleaned or damaged states generally bring in lower prices, but given the popularity of the Lincoln Wheat series, even these lesser-conditioned coins are highly sought after. The 1945 Lincoln Wheat penny features the classic obverse design created by Victor David Brenner, depicting President Abraham Lincoln's portrait. On the reverse side, there's the well-known wheat ear motif, symbolizing America's agricultural heritage. The design of the coin remained relatively unchanged for decades, but the key point here is the large date variety. This variety features larger digits for the year 1945, compared to the small date variety, which collectors closely examine when determining authenticity and rarity. Though the 1945 Lincoln penny is not particularly known for errors, certain misstrikes and minting issues could make the coin more valuable. Misalignments, double striking, or errors in the minting process often add to the value. However, the primary interest in these coins comes from collectors of Lincoln pennies, who search for the different die varieties and mint mark locations. Even a coin in poor condition is still valuable because of its place in the Lincoln cent history, which adds an additional layer of collector interest. Next up, the 1957 Lincoln wheat cent holds a special place in the history of U.S. coinage, especially because it represents one of the last years of the wheat cent design before the transition to the memorial cent in 1959. Despite its relatively high mintage numbers, the 1957 wheat cent has become one of the key collectible coins from the 1950s, particularly for collectors of Lincoln wheat pennies. The 1950s were a prosperous decade for the United States, with the economy booming as the country settled into post-World War II stability. This was the time when many households began to see an influx of disposable income, which led to more people collecting coins as a hobby. The 1957 wheat cent is symbolic of that era, offering a glimpse into a time when US coinage was transitioning in both design and production. The coin was designed by Victor David Brenner, and like the other wheat cents, it features Lincoln's profile on the obverse. The reverse showcases 2 stalks of wheat, representing the nation's agricultural heritage. The absence of a mint mark on this particular coin means it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. The 1957 Lincoln wheat cent had an enormous mintage, with more than 1 billion coins being struck. As a result, these coins are considered common in most circulated conditions. However, like the 1945 penny, the 1957 coin's value is determined by its condition and rarity, with high-grade examples fetching higher prices in the market. A 1957 wheat cent in dirty circulated condition generally holds a relatively low market value, often selling for under 10,000 suns in auctions. However, in higher grades, the price can climb considerably, especially for specimens that have been preserved with minimal wear. Even with a bit of dirt or tarnishing, collectors are drawn to the coin for its historical significance, and for those looking to complete their wheat cent collections, this coin holds great value. As with other Lincoln wheat pennies, the 1957 coin features Brenner's classic design of Lincoln's portrait on the obverse, while the reverse showcases 2 stalks of wheat encircling the denomination. One notable feature of the 1957 penny is the lack of a mint mark, signifying it was produced in Philadelphia, as opposed to coins minted in Denver or San Francisco, which would bear their respective mint marks. While the 1957 wheat penny is not known for a large number of error coins, a few rare varieties have been found, such as the 1957 D/D and other minor errors. Despite the low value of a dirty circulated coin, these small details add to the excitement and interest from collectors. The 1957 coin also has value as part of a larger set of Lincoln wheat cents, making it a desirable piece in both casual and serious collectors' hands. Next up, the 1919 Abraham Wheat 1-cent coin is one of the most intriguing and rare pieces in American numismatics. While it may not be the first coin that comes to mind when thinking about iconic US cents, its historical background, rarity, and the potential for high auction value have made it an essential piece for serious collectors. In this detailed exploration, we'll cover the coin's history, design, error possibilities, and how its value has skyrocketed, especially when in full bad condition. The year 1919 was a pivotal time in American history, coming right after the end of World War I. This era marked a significant shift in the US economy, transitioning from wartime production to a peacetime economy. The 1919 Abraham Wheat penny, designed by Victor David Brenner, was struck during this time, though many would not have anticipated the high value it would later achieve. Abraham Lincoln's image, engraved on the obverse, was a tribute to the president who had led the country through the Civil War and helped abolish slavery. The reverse featured a simple wheat design symbolizing the agricultural strength of the US. These pennies were produced in large quantities during the early 1900s, but the rarity of certain years, such as 1919, along with the condition of surviving specimens, has driven their auction prices upward. The 1919 penny, in particular, holds a unique place in numismatic history because of its mix of low mintage, potential errors, and increased demand from collectors. In fact, while most 1919 pennies are not considered particularly rare, certain mint errors, along with its status as part of the long-running Lincoln series, have caused its value to climb in recent years. The 1919 penny without a mint mark is not the rarest of the wheat pennies. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 309 million of these coins that year, which, on the surface, might make it seem less remarkable. However, the key to its value lies in its condition, rarity of certain error types, and collector demand. One of Robert's 32 treasures, while the overall mintage is relatively high, the survival rate of well-preserved 1919 pennies is lower. Most surviving examples are found in less than ideal condition, which greatly reduces their value. However, in very bad condition, such as the full bad condition or red color full bad condition that we are focusing on, collectors show significant interest because it is still an authentic piece of history, and many will pay top dollar to own a genuine 1919 penny, no matter its condition. In today's market, a 1919 penny in full bad condition can still fetch a considerable amount at auction, typically around $72,000 for a well-worn specimen. However, a full red color coin in this condition could push this value much higher, even though most red coins would typically be in better condition. The obverse of the 1919 Abraham Wheat penny features a portrait of Abraham Lincoln, facing to the right. Brenner's original design was simple but effective, and it has become one of the most recognizable images in American numismatics. The words Liberty and the date 1919 are inscribed around the image, and the coin's minting location, or lack thereof, in the case of no mint mark, is also a crucial detail for collectors. The reverse of the coin shows 2 stalks of wheat, which gave the coin its nickname, the wheat penny. The words e pluribus unum, out of many, one, appear above the wheat, and below it is the inscription United States of America, along with the denomination of 1 cent. Error possibilities and collector interest. While the 1919 wheat penny is relatively common, there are certain error varieties that have caught the attention of collectors. For example, some 1919 pennies were struck with a D or S mint mark, though they were not meant to be minted with these marks. Collectors will often pay premium prices for such errors because they represent a significant deviation from the standard coin. Additionally, the condition of the coin plays a major role in its value. A red color full bad condition coin, even though heavily worn or damaged, holds significant value because it is still a part of the iconic Lincoln series. The historical context, combined with the coin's rarity and design, gives collectors a reason to seek it out for their collections. Auction results for full bad condition 1919 pennies have ranged from $100,000 depending on the severity of wear and damage. Despite its poor state, the coin's historical value and rarity make it highly sought after. Next up, the 1924 wheat penny, without a mint mark, is another key date in the Lincoln Wheat Cent series. While it shares many similarities with the 1919 penny, it also has distinct characteristics that make it highly valuable in today's market. The 1924 penny is less common than some other years from the 1920s, and its condition plays a crucial role in determining its value. The 1920s were a period of prosperity for the United States, as the country was in the midst of the Roaring Twenties, an era marked by economic growth, technological innovation, and cultural change. However, this period also marked the beginning of the Great Depression, which would hit hard at the end of the decade. The 1924 Abraham Wheat penny was produced during this time of transition, and despite its relatively high mintage, it has become a symbol of a bygone era. While the 1924 penny doesn't have the same level of fame as the 1909 BDB penny or the 1943 steel penny, it has been highly regarded by collectors for its relative scarcity and unique design. The 1924 wheat penny was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, making it one of the more common versions of the penny from this era. However, finding these pennies in good condition is a challenge, as most of them are either damaged or heavily worn by circulation. Prospects for discovering precious pennies. Points. The 1924 penny had a mintage of over 150 million, which places it in the middle range for production numbers for wheat pennies. While not as rare as other key dates in the series, the 1924 wheat penny has held its value due to its high collector demand. In dirty or blackened condition, the value of this coin might not be as high as a well-preserved example, but it is still considered valuable by collectors. A 1924 penny, in dirty or blackened condition, can typically fetch, depending on its wear and any errors that may be present. However, coins in exceptionally poor condition are still highly sought after because of their historical value and their role in the Lincoln cent series. Much like other wheat pennies, the 1924 features the image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, facing right. The reverse displays two stalks of wheat, with United States of America written across the top and 1 cent at the bottom. The presence of the mint mark is crucial for collectors. Without a mint mark, the coin is a product of the Philadelphia Mint, which tends to have higher numbers of surviving examples than coins from the Denver or San Francisco mints. While the 1924 penny is often found in less than perfect condition, some error versions of the coin have drawn attention in the collector's market. Misstrikes, double strikes, and die cracks are some of the errors that may increase the value of the coin. Even in poor condition, these types of errors are highly prized by collectors as they are unique and add historical value to the coin. The 1924 penny is part of the larger Lincoln Wheat Penny series, which has a dedicated following among numismatists. As a result, coins in all conditions, even those in dirty or blackened condition, are in demand, and their prices can increase over time as more collectors seek them out for their collections. Next up, the 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny is one of the most well-known coins in American history, thanks to its significance during World War II and its importance in the context of coin collecting. The 1944 issue is particularly interesting because it was struck during a time when the US Mint had switched from producing copper pennies to using steel pennies made from zinc-coated steel for the year 1943 due to copper shortages. However, the year 1944 saw a return to copper for the penny, but this time with a twist: an increase in the demand for war material. The 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny was struck during World War II, which had a significant impact on US coinage. The copper needed for the war effort meant that the 1943 pennies were made from steel, while the 1944 pennies returned to copper, making them a key part of wartime history. The 1944 penny's design, featuring Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and 2 stalks of wheat on the reverse, represents a moment of national pride, as it was one of the last pennies produced with the wheat design before the switch to the Lincoln Memorial reverse in 1959. In 1944, the US Mint produced an enormous number of these pennies. However, the S Mint mark, which represents the San Francisco Mint, is particularly valuable. The 1944 S is rare compared to its Philadelphia counterparts, making it a prime target for collectors. Though most 1944 wheat pennies are still relatively affordable, the condition of the coin plays a crucial role in determining its market value. Over 1 billion 1944 pennies were produced, but not all were in pristine condition and many were lost, worn down, or discarded. The coin's mintage figures are significant, but what makes the 1944 S coin so valuable, even in bad condition, is its collector demand. The specific example we're talking about, a 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny with the S Mint mark in black color, full, bad condition, still has a lot of collector interest. Coins with this kind of severe wear, damage, or discoloration often have little market value in typical circumstances. However, even badly damaged 1944 S pennies can still fetch a good amount in the right market. The price varies greatly depending on the level of damage, but in today's auction market, even a coin in bad condition can sell for anywhere from $50,000 to $8,000, depending on rarity, provenance, and interest from bidders. The blackened color, caused by oxidation or environmental damage, doesn't detract from its historical value, and it still draws collectors who appreciate the unique story it tells. This coin's design is typical of the Lincoln Wheat Penny series, with a portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse. The reverse features 2 stalks of wheat, which are symbolic of the U.S. agricultural industry. On this coin, the mint mark S is located on the reverse, just below the date. As for errors, the The 1944 coin series has several well-known varieties. However, some 1944 Lincoln wheat pennies have been reported to have unusual die clashes or minor misstrikes due to wartime conditions and rushed production. A coin with even slight error features can boost its value significantly. Despite its bad condition, there's substantial interest in this coin from a broad range of collectors. Some collectors actively search for coins with unique or strange coloring or patina, such as this blackened color. These flaws can sometimes make a coin more intriguing or historically significant. Additionally, 1944 pennies are considered relatively rare when compared to their 1944 Philadelphia counterparts, even in poor condition. The coin's scarcity and bad condition, coupled with the sheer fascination with World War II-era coins, gives it a place in the heart of many collectors. Next up, another highly collectible coin. We have the 1947 Lincoln wheat penny. This coin is intriguing because it comes from the period after World War II, when the US economy was transitioning back to normalcy. The 1947 large-date penny, which does not have a mint mark, is particularly valuable in certain conditions, especially in what can be described as dirty color, dirty condition. The 1947 Lincoln wheat penny was struck during a period when the US was recovering from the ravages of World War II. By this time, coin production was back to its regular standards, but the wartime shortages had left a lasting impact on both the design and material choices for US currency. The 1947 penny, unlike the 1943 steel penny, which is why it lacks a mint mark. Although the 1947 penny is not particularly rare in terms of mintage, with over 1 billion pennies produced that year, its value is significantly impacted by condition and collector interest. The 1947 large-date penny, even in poor condition, has notable demand, especially for those who appreciate its design and historical context. A dirty color or dirty condition doesn't usually bring a lot of money, but there is always interest in well-worn coins, as they provide a tangible connection to history. The market value of a 1947 Lincoln wheat penny in dirty color, dirty condition can range from $123,000, depending on the exact amount of wear and the auction interest. Although it may not be a high-value coin in the same sense as an uncirculated example, this coin's historical significance, combined with its dirtied and worn appearance, can still capture the attention of many collectors who seek to complete their sets or invest in vintage, heavily circulated coins. The 1947 penny retains the classic design by Victor David Brenner, showing a portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and 2 wheat stalks on the reverse. While this coin lacks a mint mark, it was still part of the great post-war coinage series, and its worn state speaks to its journey through circulation. There are no major known errors associated with the 1947 Lincoln penny, but some collectors seek out coins with double dies or off-center strikes, even in dirty conditions, as these errors can dramatically increase a coin's value, even if the overall condition is poor. The 1947 Lincoln wheat penny continues to capture the interest of collectors who seek to fill gaps in their wheat cent collectors, and there are many who find the worn, dirty condition of this coin to be a unique piece of history. The 1947 penny stands as a symbol of the post-war American economy, and even though it may have suffered damage or staining over the years, it remains a collectible piece of the US Mint's history. Next up, the 1948 Lincoln wheat penny might not be the first coin that comes to mind when you think of valuable or rare pennies, but it has a fascinating history that collectors are drawn to. The 1948 Lincoln wheat penny was produced during a time when the US was recovering from the effects of World War II. The country had seen major changes in its economy, and the coinage system was adjusting as well. The design of the 1948 Lincoln penny, like its predecessors, features the iconic image of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, designed by sculptor Victor David Brenner. On the reverse, you'll find the familiar wheat stalks, representing the nation's agricultural heritage. However, what sets the 1948 penny apart from the rest are the specific features that are found on certain examples of this coin. While the majority of 1948 pennies are not considered rare, those in particularly bad condition, such as the one with a dirty color layer, have a certain collector appeal, especially when they are part of a larger collection of worn coins. Coins with layers of dirt or tarnish may be seen as historically significant, having endured over time, and many collectors believe that they tell a story of the coin's life. However, these dirty coins have to be handled delicately, as cleaning them could reduce their value. The 1948 Lincoln wheat penny is often seen as a desirable collectible because of its historical connection to post-war America and its unique wear and tear features. Historically, there was a significant mintage of 1948 pennies. Over 1 billion of them were produced across the 3 U.S. mints. As a result, most 1948 pennies are not particularly rare or valuable, and they can be easily found in rolls of coins or loose change. However, due to the damage and dirty color layer, this specific example becomes an outlier in terms of its market value. The rarity of the coin doesn't lie in its low mintage, but in its specific condition and the market's increasing interest in worn coins with unique qualities. In terms of market value, a 1948 Lincoln penny in bad condition like the one we're discussing today can range significantly. On average, this type of penny in full damage condition might go for anywhere between $200,000 at auction, but rare examples with a unique history can fetch higher prices, especially if there's a compelling provenance or collector interest driving the demand. Collectors are particularly drawn to these kinds of coins for their stories. A penny from the 1940s, which may have passed through many hands, traveled far and wide, and endured the years with such visible signs of wear, is not just a piece of metal. It's a piece of history. The dirty color layer gives this coin an aged look, which only adds to its mystique and appeal. Next up, the 1918 Lincoln wheat penny is one of the most interesting coins in U.S. numismatic history. It stands out for its deep connection to the post-World War I era and is highly sought after by collectors, particularly because of its unique features and wear patterns. The 1918 penny was minted in a year that marked a significant period of transition in U.S. history. The end of World War I brought about major changes to the American economy, and many of the people who had fought in the war returned to the workforce, creating a demand for coinage. On the obverse of the 1918 penny, you'll find the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. The reverse shows 2 ears of wheat, symbolizing the agricultural foundation of the USA at the time. The design elements have become some of the most recognizable and cherished in American coinage history, but the 1918 penny in particular is notable for being part of the Lincoln series, which was in production from 1909 to 1958. As for the condition of the coin, the 1918 penny that we're discussing today has been damaged with red-colored scratches that have marred the surface. These scratches were likely caused by the coin being mishandled or used in some kind of harsh environment, causing its appearance to deteriorate. While this damages the overall aesthetic of the coin, it does not completely reduce its value. In fact, collectors are often interested in damaged coins because of the character they add to the piece and the story they tell about its history. The red color scratches on this coin are a particularly intriguing aspect. Some believe that these scratches may have been caused by prolonged exposure to certain chemicals or environments, which could lead to discoloration and other changes in appearance. While scratches and wear usually lower a coin's grade, for some collectors they can add to the coin's uniqueness, making it stand out from other examples of the same year. When it comes to mintage, the 1918 penny was produced in large quantities. Over 200 million coins were minted that year, which means they are relatively common in good condition. However, what makes the 1918 penny special is its potential to carry higher value when it is found in unusual conditions or with notable errors. The market for these coins has been robust in recent years as more collectors have become interested in obtaining rare variations of common coins like the 1918 Lincoln penny. Exercises in the Christiana story of. As for the value of this coin in today's market, a 1918 Lincoln penny with red scratches and visible damage in bad condition can still command a respectable price. On average, these types of coins may fetch between $69,000 at auction, but if the coin has a unique backstory or is part of a more significant collection, the price could be much higher. A 1918 penny in better condition, free from the kind of damage we're discussing, can be worth between $93,000 or more, depending on its quality and the market conditions at the time. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and leave your comments below. And as always, keep hunting for those rare treasures.